WCLN 1170 Radio and Cable Channel 16 are pleased to present We Should Know, hosted by JW Simmons, an upbeat, informative look at people, places, and issues facing our community. This education-based analysis of issues will remain positive and informative as we consider closely what we should know.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We Should Know is on the air. My name is JW Simmons. I'm your host. Got a very interesting show for you today and hopefully enlightening. You will remember the name of Becky Spell Vann with Tim's Gift. Becky, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
And we have also with us somebody that I've talked to before, and she's been on the show before, and that's Jennifer Brewer. Jennifer, you kind of bring a shining light to Tim's Gift, and we've always enjoyed you being around, and I want to thank you for coming today and sitting in on this conversation.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So ladies, let's start, and the place to start today is to just try to kind of recap this idea of the generation, where this Tim's Gift thing came from, how much you've done in the community, because Becky, we're looking at years of involvement with a faith-based organization right here in this community that, as we talked on break just now, is reaching all over the world.
It really is, JW. It's a miracle. It's amazing. And it simply started when my husband Tim passed away and our house was full of medical equipment. And when I considered taking it to the road to be picked up, I thought, I can't do that. And God worked in that because I had cancer then. Mm-hmm. And after I was healed from cancer and I came home, I was like, what do we do with this equipment? And there was a strong sensation in my heart that said, one day my children will treasure leftovers. And that set it off. It was so real. So I took that equipment, and we didn't know what to do with Tim's office building, and we turned it into Tim's Gift. And the reason we call it Tim's Gift is because when he had an insurance building there, when he passed, so many people came to us and said, Tim was not only our insurance man, he would pray with us, and he would pay like gas money if they were taking a loved one up to Chapel Hill or Duke for an appointment. He actually paid some of the premiums when people were going through hard times. We never knew that till people told us about it. So he had already sowed the seeds, and God just watered it. And for now, going into our 17th year, and it's really been amazing what he has done, because we are truly doing local work here, home missions. But God has opened the door in the last 5 or 6 years to do foreign missions by sending yearly supplies to Africa through Dr. Watts and to Honduras and Belize. And it's amazing how that's happened.
It's truly a giving ministry. Would that be a safe way to put that?
We like to think it.
Yeah. Jennifer, I want to kind of turn to you and just kind of give us an idea of how you got involved with Tim's Gift and what that's meant to you.
So I got involved about 7 or 8 years ago, I think now. I've been with Tim's Gift, and I'm a cancer survivor also. And there was something very rare that happened when I was going through my cancer that caused me to lose my vision. So I'm legally blind, but I was working with the blind services for North Carolina, and they said, well, go get a volunteer job. Well, I saw the Tim's Gift sign, and I didn't really know what it was, but I knew they helped cancer patients. So I called Miss Becky one day, and eventually she had the faith to say, okay, you can come volunteer. So I did come in, and for several months I was there volunteering and doing all kinds of stuff to help Miss Becky and Tim's Gift. And then eventually she was like, yes, we do need someone here she saw that it was a need at Tim's Gift to have someone. So that's how I got started working at Tim's Gift. And I mean, it's a blessing to me to be able to go in there and do that every week.
Well, I think, both of you ladies are special folks, because I've seen what you do in the community. And Jennifer, You just explaining your personal history and what you've gone through and your visual impairment issues and being legally blind and all that kind of thing. It's got to, as folks are listening to this today, I mean, I'm sitting here and I've known both of y'all for quite some time, but for folks listening today, they've got to take pause and stop and say, wait a minute, I want to listen to the rest of this because I thought I had problems somewhere. I mean, you face cancer. You're now considered legally blind. Becky, you've gone through 2 spouses.
Yes.
Tim, the first one, and then you're the last person.
James.
And you've had cancer. I mean, you've fought battles that many folks may say, I don't know whether I wouldn't just give up.
Yeah.
So what causes that? Give us an idea of how you continue to press forward when many folks would say, be complaining because maybe their toe hurts or something.
Well, for me, and I think for Jennifer also, we can
say for me.
Yeah, individually, for both of you.
It's the faith.
Yeah.
And this, the Bible, this. When you go to this word, it tells us what we are to do. And we're not to stay stuck in seasons of the past.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to get caught up in that and become bitter and just give up.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to do something. I had retired from teaching and God opened that door. I didn't know what it would be, how it would look, but trusting God because He tells us in His Word, if we will step in faith, He will not fail us. He will stick with us. And He has, because we made prayer a very important from day one. We've said that we may not be able to give people everything they come for, which would be medical equipment, medical supplies, or we also help through the Hope Project golf tournament. We have funds to help people with medical bills, things that, but we said we would pray with everybody who comes in. And for going to our 17th year in March, we've only had one person in 16 and a half years that has said, I don't want you to pray for me. And when the gentleman left to head back up to New York, I said, well, sir, we're going to be praying for you while you're traveling. So prayer, I really believe that's a very important part of it because people are receptive. And we've had people break down in tears. We have several who come just to have prayer. They don't even need anything. So it's God.
And for me, you talk about worrying and people say, oh, I stumped my toe and get all dramatic over that. Well, for me, I mean, I was diagnosed with leukemia, had 2 bone marrow transplants. I've had a kidney transplant. I've had both hips replaced. I'm legally blind now, so I've got all kinds of stuff to dwell on and just feel sorry for myself. But you can't do that. Everybody has their own issues going on. It might be a bad relationship or it could be cancer. But you can't worry about what's going on. You can't change it. I can't go back and say, oh, I'm going to take away the leukemia. You just have to deal and move forward. And because if you worry about it, you're definitely going to take yourself down. And worrying is fear. And with fear, you can't have faith. And your faith is God taking you through everything that you've got to go through. But I always tell myself, if I'm feeling terrible or whatever, I say, somebody out there somewhere is feeling or is doing way worse than me. So, I mean, your situation is not the worst thing out there. And you just have to know that you can get through it. And one day you will be better.
And I'm sitting here looking at you, Jennifer, and you got the most pleasant smile of anybody that I know anywhere. And that just shines through. As folks looking at this show today, I want them to see that. I want them to understand that there is a light out there. Amen. But you've got to, as you just pointed out so vividly, you got to focus on, Becky, that reality. And I think it's important for us to discuss this.
Well, and I can tell you with all the years Jennifer's been with me now, not one time can I remember her complaining and grumbling. She doesn't do it. And when I start to do it, she calls me out. We make a good team. And we also have a great team of volunteers.
Yes.
We're not by ourselves now. We were for a while. Chris Embler worked with us and Sam Gore until he passed away. But now we have 2 volunteers on each day that we're open, and that's made a big difference. We encourage teamwork, and we have to work together and trust one another. And I think that's one of the downfalls in our society today. Because like Jennifer said, people will come in and when they leave, she'll say, I can't believe they're not working. People don't want to work, JW.
Correct.
And so we're seeing that a lot of people, can help themselves more if they will have the faith and just do it.
I think that's the important, what you just said, is that people's got to have something that drives them. And it's not a financial. It's not whether it's $20 an hour or $30 an hour or whatever the hourly wage is. There's got to be something deeper than that. Is that what I'm hearing both of you say?
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I could sit at home every day and not work, but I don't want to do that. That gets old very fast. And just to get out, even just 2 days a week that Tim's Gift is open, it gets me to interact with other people. And me and Miss Becky, like you said, are both cancer survivors. So at Tim's Gift, we understand what people are going through. And we can help them and just, even if it's just listening and let them talk, we don't even have to say anything. As long as, we listen and they can say what they need and we pray with them and they'll walk out of Tim's Gift and just be like, I can feel God in here, or this has been a blessing, and they'll be crying when they leave. And so it's just a way to get out, and just to get out and interact with people is more than the pay, as you said.
We're going to take a break and come back, but after break, I want to get into this a little bit deeper because there's something that I want to speak to. We're experiencing an unusual uptick in suicide rates and those kinds of things, which tells me, Jennifer, that to your point a while ago, it just seems to me that folks feel so disenfranchised. There's not a focus. There's not something that they have. And I want to come back and kind of focus on some of the more severe things that you guys have seen in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back in a moment. We're talking about very important issues that you're facing each and every day. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Providing fewer commutes, more backyard offices, and crystal clear meetings. Providing less, you froze up, and more presence in your presentations. Providing a better internet experience. Providing possible.
You're out for an evening on the town. Finally a chance to relax and forget that you left your front door completely unlocked. Fortunately, you just installed a security system from Star Communications. With just your cell phone, you can check on your house, lock it down, light it up, and get back to relaxing.
You forgot to put Buster in his crate.
Unfortunately, we can't help with that. Security and automation from Star Communications. Call today to find out more.
Most aging adults want to stay in their homes as long as possible. And as your loved ones get older, you want to support them, even when you can't be there. Star is proud to offer Star Alert. This new system is now mobile and has GPS compatibility, so your loved ones can live their lives and you can have peace of mind, knowing they can get the help they need with just the simple push of a button. The new Star Alert also offers automatic fall detection, so help will be alerted even if they can't press the button. Call and ask about Star Alert today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We Should Know is on there. I'm JW Simmons, your host. We always enjoy having you each and every week. And this week, we're talking with two folks that are so important to our community. And I want to start with Jennifer Brewer to start with. Jennifer, thank you for being with us. We're going to carry on this conversation we're having. And Becky Spell Vann. And Becky, I practiced that to make sure I got all those names in there because sometimes I get them reversed. Yeah. Tim's Gift. Both you guys have been so instrumentally involved in bringing the community together, helping people in times when there was no other help available. I just enjoy having you in the studio and having this conversation. Tim's Gift is about giving back. Yes. And I'm talking to two people that, as you've explained just in our first segment here, that have given a lot physically, and the ability for you guys to be here today and stand up and say, I'm still in the fight. I'm still moving forward. And it's a faith-based challenge. Is that a good representation of what our second segment is going to look like?
Yes.
Yes.
So when we use that word, when we say a faith-based challenge in life, does faith encompass all of it?
It does. And for us as an organization, a nonprofit, a lot of people say, well, you can't take it off your taxes anymore. Why do we give? We have found that people in this community are so giving and so supportive, but it's how we interact. It's our attitude that makes a big difference. We make sure that we let people know who support us and who don't, that we are grateful. We're grateful when people stop by just to speak. Mm-hmm. People come and bring all kinds of things. And we were very selective to begin with. We only took medical. But we found that we have had several people whose husband or wife might have passed, JW, and they would clean out the closet because they may not have any children at home. And they would say, I can't bear to part with their clothes and take them somewhere where I don't know they won't be used. We take them. We pray over them with them, and they leave very pleased. In fact, we had a lady 2 weeks ago that brought her when her mother passed, and she said, our mother loved clothes. She said she had 12 closets in that house full of clothes. So she brought them to us. We had so many clothes under our shelter, and it was like instantaneous. God just put the shed heads, because in November and December, when the third Saturday, when they do the food giveaway in Salemburg at the food bank, they give clothes during that season. Mm-hmm. So I called Terry Lee. He sent some salesmen up with their pickups. We filled up pickups with clothes, had the tags on them. And when I told the daughter, she was so excited. She said, I prayed that my mama's clothes wouldn't just go in a bin somewhere and be forgotten. I said, ma'am, they're going to go out to people at the Christmas and Thanksgiving. And that's what we experience every day in different ways. This community is why Tim's Gift can thrive. And it's God working in us, being able to witness to them. And then on a day when we're wondering, how are we going to get through with this situation or whatever, someone will come in to bless us and pray over us. So it's the kind of give and take that we read about, the way Jesus taught us to live, but we have strayed from that path, JW, in many ways, and allowed ways of the world. So Jennifer and I, when we're at work, it's just such a pleasure because we never know what he's going to send.
Yes,
Jennifer, do you have, like when you're there, are you there by yourself? Do you keep the door locked? Is it unlocked? Kind of give us an environmental kind of mental picture here.
So
give a plug for
Miss
Star.
Becky, she will not let me be there by myself. No. So yes, we do have someone at Tim's Gift, more than one person when we're open, but Star has just installed a security system for us. So we do have that available, and they can ring our doorbell if the door is locked and come on in, and I think we're good with that.
Yes, we needed that.
Sure.
Because we are having a lot of walk-ins, and while we don't like to bring up some topics, we do have many homeless people here. And they walk the streets, and we have had many to come in that we will give food or whatever. So what we did with the food, because it was interfering with the other services we provide, on Farrell Street, we have a pantry. I just refilled it 2 days ago. And we keep that pantry full of canned food and other kinds of food so people can go there and get it, because we don't have as much parking as we'd like, but we're praying about that.
And the pantry too, sorry to interrupt you, but the pantry is there for anybody to stock or get items out of it. So if you're hearing this today and you've got extra food, go to Farrell Street and place items in it, canned foods, non-perishables, and because there are a lot of homeless people in Sampson County.
we did a
use
show.
that.
We did a show just on that. You remember, Jennifer? We did a show on that, and a lot of folks didn't realize that those number of people were here.
Yeah.
But you guys know it because you see a lot of the requests and demands coming in.
We do. And churches send people to us, JW. But we're grateful because those churches support us. They sponsor us. And we have found that people are willing to be sponsors for our golf tournament next Friday. I think we have over 25 sponsors. God has just been so good to us. So it's like when we have faith and we step out and we're willing to go and do, He will take care of us. He sure is doing it there for us.
This is a subject that requires a lot more time than we're going to give it today, but the idea of homelessness, and we look at people that are living under bridges or on the street or in abandoned buildings. What do we make of that from the psychological perspective? What as a larger society are we missing? Do you guys ever just sit down and have a conversation and say, wonder why these people are here, and if we just keep giving them food, is that the thing we need to do? What are we missing from your perspective? And I want to get some response on that from both of you. Jennifer, you want to take that one on?
Well, there's people here in Sampson County. I mean, they're living in their cars, they're on the streets. And I don't know, I mean, I've not been in a homeless situation, but I think they get stuck in a rut and they feel like they can't make that step out of their comfort zone to get out and do what they need to, maybe get a job or whatever it may be, to try to pull some income in. And then there's the people that may be sick and have had medical issues, and because that's a huge expense, and maybe that puts them out homeless. And so there's so many different reasons on why they're homeless, and it's a personal, I think, a personal thing in their minds that they've kind of got to step out of their comfort zone to make that first step to get out and do a little something for themselves, at least to help bring in some income.
Becky, what do we do? How do we change it?
Yeah, it needs to be discussed.
Well,
Exactly.
JW, and what happened when we did the segment a few months ago on homelessness, we had some very negative comments that we received. And they said, well, we didn't think that you were using the money that's contributed to Tim's gift for homeless people. But what we try to do is direct them. And I think what they need more than anything is for somebody to just show compassion. And you do have to be careful. We're living in a world today where we don't know what somebody's got in their pocket. And we do work and keep safety in mind. But we also trust God. Someone told us yesterday we should take our flags down because it's dangerous now to fly them. And I said, are we going to give in to everything and just, no, we trust God. And with the people that have come in, we had a group of young people about a year ago who came in, did not know what to do with them. We prayed with them. We gave them some food. And there were some things they were doing that was not right and good. But they have come back to us this year, 2 of them. And they broke away from a group because it's groups. It's in little cells. And they're in our county. But they said, we broke away. And one of them, she said, I have a job now. They were cleaned up. And she said, we want to thank you because when we came here, you didn't just shut us out. You prayed with us and talked to us. So what we do a lot of is not just giving them, handing out. It's just taking time to listen and give a little direction.
Yeah, just to listen to them and even just to show a little bit of care to what they are going through. Because everybody, just like the cancer situation, everybody has their own situations, and you've got to be compassionate to that situation because in their mind, it may not be the worst thing to you, but in their mind, they're going through it. It's just terrible for them. So you just have to show some sympathy as to what they're going through. And for the homeless situation, it's a whole cycle of things that need to be done. There needs to be education along with
Yes.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Rehab services. There's so many addicts out there that are homeless. You can't just put them in a home somewhere and expect them to turn their lives around. They need, even like financial education to learn how to handle their money. Mm-hmm. They need rehabs or addiction services. They need just even education on how to interact with other people.
Right.
So it's it's not just getting them into a place to live.
There's a number of these issues, and I want to, as we go to break here, I want to kind of leave this as a takeaway. When we come back, I want to pick up on this. The question is going to be this: can we be compassionate and at the same time be judgmental? Because we have, I'm sitting here thinking, by your comment, I was sitting here thinking, well, it's not they just get a job and go to work. I mean, we've got people begging for employees and that kind of thing. So when we come back, let's talk about that idea. Can we be judgmental, but yet also be compassionate? Are they opposite ends of the stick? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment talking about a lot of issues happening in this community. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
105.7. 105.7. Tuning into Christian 105.7 is tuning in to a space of hope, encouragement, answers, and love. With the magic of radio or the convenience of the internet, Christian 105.7 is focused on sharing the universal truth and light of Christ with a local touch that creates that special feeling of community. More than just another broadcast station, we're your neighbors. Christian 105.7. What faith sounds like.
If you run a business, you need sales. To get sales, you need customers. To get customers, you need exposure. Let our team of experts craft and produce the perfect video ad to reach your intended audience while making the most of your advertising dollars. Call 1-800-706-6538 or visit starcom.net to contact our Star Communications production team and get your business moving to the next level.
Eastern North Carolina is a beautiful place where we gladly choose to call home, and we strive to provide the best communications services. STAR is committed to improving communications to all our service areas because we want to improve the communities where we not only work, but also live. STAR Communications. We are neighbors serving neighbors.
Welcome back, folks. We Should Know is on the air. We're coming to you on Star Communications TV, Channel 16, WCLN Radio, simulcast on Tuesdays and Thursday at 2:30. Also, we'd like to remind you, keep sending us those emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And this will be on the screen. You can pick that up and send us a comment or a suggestion about upcoming shows. We're talking today with Jennifer Brewer and Becky Spell Vann with Tim's Gift. We're getting deep into a conversation here, Becky and Jennifer, and when we went to break, it just occurred to me, we started talking about, the things that's going on in the community and the kinds of things that show up on your doorstep at Tim's Gift. And a lot of those is people looking away, Jennifer, to kind of, should I say, to get by, to make it through the day. And I want to kind of follow that a minute. It seems to be a challenge, and this is just my observation. It seems to be a challenge for folks that see people that, you got a sense of compassion for that person, but at the same time, your judgmental part of you says, well, if they're not willing to go out there and take one of these many jobs that people's asking for help, then why should I give them stuff? And you guys are there trying to bridge that. I'll start with you, Jennifer. Help us understand. How do you process that, and how do you deal with that?
Well, first of all, for judgment, when you judge somebody, if you have not been through something, then it's hard for you to get a mindset to understand what they're going through and why they could be there. And with all I've been through, even on the camera right here, I might look like there's nothing at all wrong with me. They probably think I can see you just fine. But because what I have been through, I know that you can't look at me and say that person is sick or that person should not be parking in a handicapped place or whatever. But once you go through it, you can understand and you can have some more compassion, and you don't judge the person, because you can look at someone that is homeless or going through something else, and you can say, well, I don't know what's going on inside that person. They may have a mental issue, maybe they have one leg underneath those blue jeans. And so other people that haven't been through something may not think of those things, that just because they look fine doesn't mean that they're 100% okay. So so to judge somebody, it's easier for me not to do it, although everybody judges people. It's hard not to do it, but you still have to have the compassion to know that there could be other issues and just be sympathetic on what they may be going through.
Becky, I think one of the things that strikes me too is these kinds of issues that we're talking about is nothing new to society. I mean, for decades and centuries, we've had these kinds of people. I mean, even you look back at Jesus Christ's footsteps on this planet, and those same kinds of behavioral traits were there. So there's nothing new here.
No, there's not. And we've had an increase. When we first opened, there were very few people who came in that were in those desperate situations, but it has greatly increased. But we have found that giving them an opportunity to share part of their story, and then the judgmental part comes in. Now, how much of this is really true? And usually what they'll do is they'll wind up getting their story all tangled up before they finish, and you realize what they're doing. Some are very sincere. And the communication is just talking and listening and not acting like we are superior or not treating them like they're trash. And when I say that, often we do that because we certainly disapprove of seeing somebody that is in a place where they don't have somewhere to lay their head at night. And it's amazing that people of the places in this city where people tell us they sleep and things that they go through. But what we've done is just give them time. But we never acknowledge that it's okay. We try to give them, Jennifer has a list of places where people can go for work. We talk to them about applying and going out and improving things so that they could get a job. And prayer is important with them too, but we also have found that some are so slick, they've learned to play the game. And they figure out how to try to get something. And there are those that we will talk with and pray with, but we don't help. Because even in the Bible, Paul said, dust your feet off and move on. And there's sometimes you can't help somebody unless they're willing to help themselves. They stay in that rut, and it's over and over. And then they get very angry. So we have to, we stand up, and God's really given us, I feel like, a protection. And He will also give us the discretion and discernment. And it's pretty easy to pick out the ones that are just seeking a handout, and some of them really just want to talk to somebody.
Jennifer, do you ever get concerned about your safety?
No, but Miss Becky gets concerned about my safety. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't, in my mind, I don't let stuff like that concern me. I don't.
It could become a burden if you think about it too.
Yes.
Now, you guys are located right there on Northeast Boulevard.
That's right.
And I mean, that's one of the busiest between that and 24 in the area. And folks know where that's at. So so they know how to get there, whether they walk or whatever, but they'll show up. But you're inviting them to come by.
Yes, we do. And we have, you wouldn't believe the people who walk there and who will just pull in and stop by to make sure we're okay. They come to check on us. And we don't operate in fear. We really don't. In fact, it took a long time for me to give in to getting that security system. But I felt like with the times, we cannot, like we talked about earlier, stick our head in the sand. We can't just go around and pretend that everything is wonderful, because we are living, as Tammy Jacobs and New Bethel Quartet sings, they sing we're living in a mixed up, messed up world. And that's true, but the rest of the lyrics in that song, oh, I wish he was here to sing it. It's amazing because it talks about, yes, it's a mixed up, messed up world, but what are we doing to help it? Are we complaining and saying, not me, I'm not going to get my hands dirty? Well, you have to have the discernment to know when to back off. And God gives that to us when we talk with these people. It doesn't take just a few minutes to know if they're just trying to see what they can get. In fact, Jennifer, we talk about it a lot. We're thankful for that. But we also want to show them respect and let them leave that place. And that's what the ones who came back that we had helped, and they said they had changed their life. They're actually getting engaged. They're going to be married. They've both got jobs now. And 9 months ago, they were homeless. And it was not an easy thing helping them.
So this is a success story that needs to be told.
Yes. When they came in, they were hungry, and there was, and I'm telling, we can't go into any details because it's very important that we don't. People need to know that when they come and they receive help, that it's not something we go out and share. It's very private, but it's also so precious. You want to tell the story. We're so excited some days. We just want to tell what God is doing because all we hear about is what the bad. If we turn our news on, it's bad. We get 1 minute on the end of nightly news for one good thing to be shared. And there's so much to be shared. And it's happening at Tim's Gift. And our community helps make that happen. They look out for us, JW. They'll pull in and say, everything okay? Do y'all need anything? There's several that walk the strip and they'll just open the door and say, don't forget if you need something or if somebody, we know that God's got our back. And we're thankful.
That's just such an amazing story. And folks don't remember anything about this show today other than us talking about this, is this idea about compassion and getting beyond, Jennifer, that idea of being judgmental. So, because I don't know that you can be compassionate if you are judgmental. It's like the judgmental part gets in your way of doing scripturally what you should do for compassion.
Yes. And at Tim's Gift, we are set up we're a nonprofit, and we have guidelines we have to follow, and we have our board member, and we have people come in all the time, like the homeless situation, and we're set up to do medical expenses and equipment and help people medically, but everything's on a case-by-case basis. But when we have situations, for example, like homeless, that we are not able to help with, we don't want people to leave angry or like, Tim's Gift didn't do anything or whatever. We always try to at least give them a bag of food when they leave, and of course prayer. So we don't just shove them out and say, no, go somewhere else. We try to listen to what they're saying, have some compassion for their situation, let them talk, and we can tell through their actions, and for me, their tone or their voice, how they're speaking, if they're getting angry, and we can kind of guide ourselves on how we need to either lay back some or just proceed like we were, and then we can give them, they can leave. Usually they leave grateful. They're grateful. Even though we didn't pay anything.
But we're not passive. We don't sit there. We are strong in our faith, and we stand up. And we have had to ask some to leave before. And we don't mind. And we've got our sheriff and our police chief. We've got their number, and we've got a button. And they said, we'll be there in a skinny minute. And we've never had to call them. We've called for advice. But we're very thankful. But we've got people that are homeless that have given our address, and we get letters where they're trying to find them for child support and other things because they said they didn't have any other address that they could give. So we just take it over to the police department. But these people need help, and it's not always easy. But if we work together as a community, we can do it.
When we come back, I want to talk about what we can do as a larger community to help you guys do what you do. We'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in a moment. We're talking about a very important organization here, nonprofit, that's helping you in the community. We'll be back.
Just because something may work doesn't mean it's right for your business. Let Star Communications' knowledgeable consultants help you customize a hosted voice system that's right for you. Our dedicated experts work with you to understand your business needs and guide you at every step, from choosing and installing services to ongoing maintenance and support. Contact Star today.
For the ultimate Wi-Fi experience, you need whole home Wi-Fi from Star Communications. Star's whole home Wi-Fi provides ultimate coverage, ultimate performance, and ultimate power all the time. Star's whole home Wi-Fi systems feature the latest Wi-Fi 6 technology and are equipped with unrivaled bandwidth and 4 times more simultaneous connections. So you can connect tons of devices throughout your home with no lag and no downtime. Plus, with 24/7 support and remote troubleshooting, you can rest assured that Star is always there to help you should any issues arise. Star's whole home Wi-Fi also comes with the Command IQ mobile app, putting you in control of your home network and making it easy to set up and connect devices, run network speed tests, pause Wi-Fi, and set parental controls all from the palm of your hand. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Contact Star today to get started.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. JW Simmons here, your host. The name of the show is We Should Know. We appreciate your comments that you've been sending to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. Also, remember, we air on Tuesdays at 2:30, both on radio and TV, and then on TV at 7 p.m. Thursday on Channel 16, Star Communications. We're talking with the folks that represent Tim's Gift, Becky Spell, and we have Jennifer Brewer with us today. I can't thank both of you enough for coming in and sitting down. I want to start this last segment, and I just want to read the vision statement for Tim's Gifts. And it goes this. It says, the vision of Tim's Gift is to improve the quality of life and to meet the more obscure financial, emotional, and spiritual needs of hospice patients, cancer patients, and their families. The big statement for me in that whole vision statement was to improve the quality of life. And I think both of you exemplify how you improve your quality of life each and every day through other people. So I want to start this last segment and ask you, along with the fundraiser you've got coming up, I want to talk about that, but also I want to include in this, what can the community at large, what can faith-based organizations do, what can individuals do to help both of you continue to do and give to this community like you've been doing for years? And you want me to start with you, Becky?
Well, the greatest thing that we need is prayer, because we believe we've got God's protection, but we know that there are a lot of bizarre things happening in our nation, our world, and we don't want to think it's here in our little corner of the world, but it is. And so we appreciate prayer. We also appreciate support, and that comes in so many different ways. Anything is appreciated. But right now we have 8 churches in Sampson County and Clinton City that monthly support us. And some do it annually. They write a check for once a year. And then they feel comfortable calling us and asking for help with someone that they might not know what to do with. So we're grateful for the church support. Not only do they do that, they invite us to go to their church to speak. We love to go share. But that is an important part of it, is working together as a network. Then we have to give a shout out to home health and hospice. When we started this, my son Cameron worked for 1 year, and he actually helped write that vision statement. And he wrote a paper and he said, Mom, we have to get a team together. He said, if we can work together with the hospice groups and help one another. And that's what's happened, because every single one in our area now, they contribute. If someone passes away in a family where they're working with them, they say, please get this stuff out of our house. We don't want to see it. And they will tell them, take it to Tim's Gift. And that's introduced us to people who need prayer. A loved one's passed. And what we found through the years, JW, we've started having a lot of people come from other counties. And they need supplies, especially since Scott came with the Tar Heel Traveler last year. So we help people, but we're also careful because they have to fill out liability forms, because what we give out, we ask the people to bring it back when they're finished. It's like a give and take. It goes out and it comes in. But we are getting hospice nurses, different groups that come from other counties, and they say, can you please let us have a walker for our patient? Because there's nothing in our county that does this. And we found out that Tim's Gift it's been spread. So we're very careful that we take care of our own, but we also believe that God would want us to help others too. And we've put responsibility when we give things out. We have people who come by and they're taking a loved one up to the hospital or the clinic for a doctor's appointment, and they just need a wheelchair for 2 or 3 hours. We're able to give it to them. They drop it off. It's turned into a real amazing ministry where God has just shown us that if we will have the faith, that we will get the support we need. Sponsors, our businesses in this town and county have been amazing to sponsor. And Jennifer calls and I hear her hang up and, yes, Miss Becky, they said yes. And we're grateful for that, because that enables us to do the other leg of Tim's Gift, which is to help with medical bills.
Jennifer, you are on the phone quite a bit and so forth. What just with your experience there, what would you say to folks that they could do? I mean, obviously you need financial support. It's a nonprofit. They can, they have to understand that. You got a golf tournament coming up, and you do that every year. You have fundraising events. What would you say to churches, and we got a lot of church people in this county. So what would you say to those folks?
There's all kinds of ways that an individual or a family can help Tim's Gift and partner with Tim's Gift. Once you donate something, or we consider you family of Tim's Gift, and you're partnering with us to help the community. You're not just giving us money or equipment and that's it. You're now part of Tim's Gift. So we accept any kind of medical equipment or supplies, walkers, even gauze and Band-Aids, adult diapers, Ensure, shampoo and conditioner. We accept all of that stuff. So if they might have in their garage or in a closet these items, anyone in the community, and they just want to get rid of it, and they can bring it to Tim's Gift. And then we've got other ways that, like the sponsorships, that maybe businesses or individuals want to give a large amount of money to help continue on what we're doing. But then we also have things like our Jesus Dollar program, where if someone looks at a dollar bill, look on the little serial number, and it'll have a J. We call that a Jesus Dollar. We accept Jesus dollars, and we use those to help people in the community and to pay medical expenses. So it could be $1 or it could be $1,000. And we have several events throughout the year that help Tim's Gift, and where if somebody can only do a small amount of something, they can volunteer at these fundraisers that we have. We have the golf tournament coming up. It's actually next Friday, and Miss Becky can talk about that a little bit more, but we also do Rise Up every year, and that's for churches. That's a community event mainly.
That's we're giving back that.
And we have bands and speakers, and it's for anybody to come out. We can we'll take volunteers, so if you want to help Tim's Gift in a volunteer way. Then we have, we're doing 2 Rise Ups possibly.
We're doing 2 Rise Ups. We're doing one we're having a winter Rise Up in January. It will be at Grove Park Church the last Sunday, and we'll be getting information out. And then in May, we'll be back at Hubbs Farm for a repeat of last year. It was so successful with the fire pit, and Everything that happened there, people have begged for it. They said, please do it again. And then when we have an excess, JW, like medical supplies like the gauze, Band-Aids, pads, and different things, we had an extreme amount that were donated the last few months. So right before school started, our volunteers gathered around the table and we put it all in piles, and we made big first aid bags for every school in the county and the city, because we were told that sometimes they run out of those supplies. So we find ways to give back because we're so grateful for how our community donates and gives to us. And anything, we find some people will bring things and they'll say, I know you can't use this, and it is amazing. Someone will walk in, won't they?
Yes.
And we'll say, yes, we have that. So we are grateful to be able to do the work that we do. To us, it's a blessing. And we thank our community.
Yes, and we also have our tea party for the ladies.
Yes.
So those are, and then you could be a monthly donor, but little things like our tea party, that's a way to get involved and to learn more about what we're doing, have fun, and help us raise money so we can keep doing this. And it could be just, just a small amount, but every dollar adds up to help people. I mean, if we were to give out a gas card for someone to go to the doctor at Chapel Hill, it's $25. $25 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's getting them to their doctor to help them. So just, any little thing helps.
And the churches that let us have events, that like the First Methodist Church has hosted 2 of our tea parties. They say, no, we are not charging. We are thankful you're here. We had 19 tables at our last one with 8 ladies at each table, and they loved it. And it's just it's a fun time, because I think that we can get so downtrodden with the way things are in our world right now. And we need to find ways to encourage people to get out, not get stuck in their house. Our churches shut down way too soon when COVID came. Yes, we need to be careful, but we also need to have faith and to get out there and to live life and not live it in fear.
Let's get some phone numbers out there. We got about a minute left here. Well, who do they need to call?
910.
592-1126.
Yes, it's Tim's gift.
And they'll probably get you, Jennifer, right?
Yes.
So if you want to talk to Jennifer, dial that number. We're going to put this on the screen for folks watching, but oftentimes if the folks are listening on the radio, it's always good to repeat those numbers. So is there any specific thing that we need to touch on? We got about 15, 20 seconds left.
We have a website, timsgift.com. They can go on there and find more information as to what's going on. timsgift.com, no S on gift.
Okay.
Yes.
timsgift.com.
And we just want to leave our appreciation and gratitude. A lot of people think a small town, they want to go out and find a big city somewhere, and that's what some people like. But we love the small town feel here and the way we are family. And even one of the gentlemen who's helping today with this, his preacher walked in last year, and we were working with the kids, JW, and he came in and he prayed with us, and then he just put a check in my hand real meekly, and he said, thank you for what you're doing. And that's what it's all about. We thank them.
Well, we want to thank both of you for being here, and thank you for what you're doing for the community. And I encourage people to reach out to you and help out and maintain what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here. And as always, may God bless.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of We Should Know with host JW Simmons. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion regarding this or any episode, please send your emails to weshouldknowedu@gmail.com. And remember to tune in every Tuesday at 2:30 for another informative episode of We Should Know.